little kids cut corn, or acres of corn. You got to, I got a corn knife in there now. You got to cut the corn. You got to stack the corn on a stack. Then you got to go out there with a mule on a wagon and load the corn on the wagon. Take it to the barn, shuck it, cut it up. Yeah, barefooted. It was rough. Yeah, it was rough. I didn't have any good memories because we was working all the in the fields and stuff. And then when you went to school, you had to walk a damn mile to catch a bus. Little kids like that, 6, 7 years old, white kids riding in a damn bus, and we got to walk up the road.
I'm gonna have to repeat what you say for him.
That's fine.
Alrighty. You gonna look at the camera.
Camera.
But I'm gonna repeat what she says to you.
What is your name and how old are you?
Say your whole name. Say your name and how old are you?
Raymond Henry Freeman. I'm 85 years old. I was born in Prince George, Virginia. My daddy, he must have been from Prince George, Virginia too. My daddy was Joseph Endon Freeman. And my mama, her name was Marie Carey Seldon.
How many generations can you trace back?
Okay, what I know of is Grandpa Freeman and Carey Seldon. But as far as I can go, but what has been told is Daddy's mama, but I don't know. She came from right back in the woods back in here. It's an old house back here, and it's a cemetery back there. But I don't know those folks because I was young. And Uncle Tommy, he was a rowlet. That's part of that road out there was named after him. And he was a rowlet. And Daddy's mama, she must have came from back in there too. There's a whole bunch of people back during that time that lived back in there. But that was way before my time. And as far as I can go back is I vaguely remember Daddy's daddy, but I remember Mama's mama and her husband. But I don't remember too much about Grandpa Freeman because I was real small, probably when he died. So other than that, that's as far as I can go back because those people were old. They probably had 2 families, and I was one of the last part of the family before they died, because Grandpa Freeman, I vaguely remember him. Hell, I guess he was 80 or 90 years old when I was real small. I can't go back no further than that.
The people that we were trying to get to, whoever's house.
The cemetery back there?
No, somebody else's house.
Oh.
Carrie's house and somebody's house, and it was a whole. Anyway, I don't even remember the details, but it was.
This is what this space used to look like right here.
What? That's not here. Is that here?
It is.
Here.
It's the same chairs and everything.
All right. So this is my grandpa. That's my dad's dad.
Yeah, he is holding a gun.
Yeah. This is my grandma. This is my grandma and grandpa. And this is my dad, his brother, and his sister. Pretty cool.
Very cool.
It's her tale of all those people, because all this land here, all of it belonged to the family, the Rowlett family, all the way back down to the creek. But during that time, black people didn't have no jobs, and two of them was a school teacher, because when I was real small, the only thing you could be back during that time if you was black was a preacher and a teacher. So the one or two that were teachers had a little money, so they bought the land from the siblings, or either the other ones didn't have any money to pay taxes, and the tax land just went out for taxes, because there's 10 partials in here that went in for taxes. There's a whole lot of cousins. The Briggs was tied up in this. The Mayos was tied up in this. Mayo still got some property over there, and the Briggs, they died out and didn't pay taxes, and land just was sold. Because my uncle, Daddy's brother, his mama gave him this piece of land here, and he turned it over to me. But see, back during that time, the money was just, people was just trying to survive, because the white man had a choke around your neck, and he wouldn't let it go. And then if during that time, if you needed money, or not me, but people back during that time, and if you went to a bank or whatever, they said you wouldn't have no money. Bank just closed up. My mama's dad, Mac, he had a lot of money in the bank in Petersburg, but the bank foreclosed and took all his money. You ain't got no money. Bank foreclosed. He was a peanut farmer, and he had plenty of money because he had land. He kept his land, but his money was gone. But that's just the way it was back during that time, that you had to survive. If they weren't burning a damn cross in your yard, they was doing something else to you. That's just the way the world was. And a friend of mine, his dad had lived in Amelia, and he had a farm, planted his grain. That time of year got so hot, the grain didn't come up. Next year, he replanted. Then it rained so much that it just flooded his grain out. White man from the bank came by there and said, "Mr. Broadneck, I'll lend you some money to buy you a tractor and buy all the other stuff that you need to get you back on your feet." Gave him the tractor, gave him the other stuff. Then time come to pay, he ain't had no money because the grain didn't make. So he said, "Well, I'm gonna have to take your property." Came in, took the man's house, took the man's property. A lot of things happened back there during that time that people don't really know about. And it's still going on today. But people think this is a new world, a new generation, and they got everything, capped. But it's a rude awakening on a job. If they don't like the way you're working, they'll come in there and get some reason to lay you off, or give you another job, low-paying job, and then they'll close up on you. My nephew was working down at Reynolds. They came in there and locked the gates. Say, "You want a job, you can go up here to Kentucky." Oh, you don't have no job. They still doing it today. They'll lock the place up, close up. Did that down here, U-Crops. U-Crops had a whole lot of mainly older people working in there, because when they started, they hired a lot of middle-aged people. U-Crop got to the point that said, "Well, we're going to have to pay retirement for all of these old folks. So what we're going to do, we're going to shut up the store, and we're going to stay out for a while until all this gets settled. And then we're going to open it up under another name and hire all new young folks." And that's the game they played with black people during the time.
What are some of the memories that you have, childhood, just growing up?
She said, talk about the memories you had growing up as a child.
Some of the fondest
Some of the
memories.
fondest memories. A good memory. Okay.
None.
Okay, what about a memory? What was your childhood like?
Get up in the morning, go plow the meal. 12 o'clock, you stop, go back at it till the sun go down. That's why I joined the service. I got tired of that.
You
Got
became
to
a
go
Marine.
in the garden, got to get the weeds of the garden.
And that's
got
why
to
you became
water
a
the
Marine.
pigs, feed the damn chicken. That shit was rough. So I just joined Marine Corps because I got tired of that. And my brother, he never did like it down there. That's why he sold that property. He said, I ain't never liked it. Damn, hit work it a damn death. Little kids cut corn, or acres of corn. You got to, I got a corn knife in there now. You got to cut the corn. You got to stack the corn on a stack. Then you got to go out there with a mule on a wagon and load the corn on the wagon. Take it to the barn, shuck it, cut it up. Yeah, barefooted. It was rough. Yeah, it was rough. I didn't have any good memories because we was working all the in the fields and stuff. And then when you went to school, you had to walk a damn mile and catch a bus. Little kids like that, 6, 7 years old, white kids riding in a damn bus, and we got to walk up the road. It was rough.
Hey, Grandpa, can you tell us about some of the hunting experiences that you have? What did you used to hunt, and what did you used to eat?
Oh, that was after I came back out of the Marine Corps. I did a little bit before I went in the Marine Corps. But yeah, I used to hunt turkeys, deer. I got some of them on the wall in the house now. Fish. I caught a lot of, I got a fish in there on the wall now. Bass, 8-pound bass. But I did that after I was grown, after I was, out and on my own. That's what I did that until I started building this house. I had a well-deserved, not childhood, but adulthood, because I used to build airplanes. I got a couple of them in there now. I used to fly them, the remote control cars. I did a lot of fishing, because Holly used to go with me when I was fishing. She rode a boat while I was fishing. And I used to fish every day. I'd leave work and go fishing. I'd take off 2 weeks in hunting season and hunt for 2 weeks on my vacation, because I had a good boss and I used to leave work. He said, you ain't got nothing else to do today. He said, you might as well go on fishing. And I kept my fishing and stuff in the car. I had a little beat up car I used to drive around in, and that was good. I enjoyed that. And I did most of the things that I wanted to do that I didn't do when I was a child. Because Mom and Dad, they didn't have the funds to do stuff or buy stuff like other people did,
This is my dad, right
Wow.
here. We have to ask him how old he was. 3 maybe.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking that's a gun in his hand, but we just gonna. And this is my dad graduating high school. So, yeah. Wow. This is Mac Henry Selden. I'm almost positive. My dad's grandfather. Yeah, my dad's grandfather. He's an average fisherman, hunter, tinkerer, builder, all of that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's an outdoor sportsman for sure. For sure. He keeps everything. There are airplanes that he I'm trying to clean up because I took over like all his stuff with all my bee stuff. Ooh, child.
good.
But he would build these airplanes. They're tall as you and I. And he would go to the airfield and fly them. And because he wanted to be a pilot. I just realized that 2 months ago. And every time a plane flies overhead, he looks up.
Because jobs back during that time, they weren't for black people, but white people, they had jobs working at the luggage company in Petersburg. They worked at Philip Morris, Brown and Williamson. They had an Arnold Pen company over there white people used to work at. But black people, they won't hire them. Not unless you was lucky enough to get a elevator operator in a cigarette factory or something like that. But other than that, you ain't had no damn job because they wouldn't hire you. Not black people. But see, now they figure they got everything by the tail. But you still, I tell my nephew, because he worked for the railroad, you still in the cotton field. It's a damn shame. But they will hold you down as long as they can because they don't want you to have shit. And it's today. Whole thing about now is getting you in debt. And most black people are in debt. They got these brand new cars, They got these houses, they got all these phone bills, they got light bill. How can you make it and you got all them damn bills? You can't pay all your damn bills when your check come in. You're gonna have to put something back until next time and let them keep sliding and sliding like that. But nobody will listen. The only way I scaved out of that is the boss I used to work for, Dr. Steele. He said, if you work for me for 5 days a week and work for yourself 2 days a week, you'd be surprised at what you can accomplish. And that's when I got myself together, and my uncle gave me the deed to this land, and with the help of my brother, I built this house myself, because I'm doing a whole lot better than the average black person is doing, not unless they are a doctor or a lawyer or a professor or something like that. The average one running up and down this road and working for the white man, they're in trouble, and they're going to be struggling the rest of their damn life until they die, because the system is set up like that. You go buy a damn car, white man get it for a 1.5% interest. Black person, they're going to give you 4% interest, or 3%. You can't get from up under that. Not unless you smart enough to beat the system. And the average one ain't beat the system, because the average black person is trying to keep up with the Joneses.
I think it's amazing that you built this house with your own hands.
She said it's amazing that you built this house with your own hands.
And I 100% agree with you about freedom.
And she agrees with you about freedom.
Financial freedom, being debt-free.
Debt-free.
Is the way to be.
Debt-free is the way to be.
Is the way to be.
Yeah. Shit, when I was married, I get paid. I had to go in the bathroom and sit on the commode with a piece of paper and try to figure out what can I spend at the grocery store. I owe this one, I owe that one. And people used to call me, oh, Mr. Freeman, are you back on your payment? That's why I don't answer the phone now. They used to call me damn near every day. Back in the payment. I said, if I ever get up from under this, I ain't gonna be in no kind of debt whatsoever. Die before I get in debt. But that's the way of living for the average person. Because they say on the news that 95% of the people living in the United States, they spend out more money than they make.
Yeah, I believe that.
I ain't gonna do that. That ain't happening to me no more.
Knowing what you know, how did you try to make it different for me?
Well, I told you had to be ahead of the class. If you go to school and the teacher started with chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're on chapter 1. When you get your ass at home, you need to read chapter 2, because you know where you're going. So you need to know what's happening in chapter 2, other than sitting there being dumbfounded and with the rest of the class don't nobody know what the hell's going on. And you need to be ahead of the class. Whether you can tell her or not, you'll know. And she used to, one day she went out and came back from school and she had to do a book report. I don't know what it was, about some damn Indians or something, I forget now. And I balled up a piece of paper and she said, and she had to do a book report the next day. And I was reading the book to pick out what you need to be in the report, not all that other garbage. And she would nod off. Every time she nod off, I tap her upside the head with that piece of paper. She'll nod off again. I tap her upside the head with that piece of paper. So you're going to get this. When I went up there to VCU, it used to be RPI, but now it's VCU. And I was in a class with all white people. When I left out there, I ain't had nobody to talk to. You know, they going home and they discussing things with each other and all of this old crap. And I was just left out in the dark. But, you know, the education was the best thing that you can do. If you ain't got no money, you can make your money if you have education. If you go to a place and you look stupid and act stupid and don't know what you're doing, then people don't want you. When I was working at MCV, black people with black kids would come in the lab and they apply for a job, and when they walk out of there, the trash can used to be Anna. When you walk out there and walk down the hall, they take that application and throw in the trash can. People don't believe it. They think this world is theirs and they're going to do what they want to do and they're going to get through and everything else is going to be hunky-dory. Don't work that way. Don't work that way. You got to play the game. Guy said, well, how you get along? I said, because when I leave home, come in here, I put on another hat. When I leave, I go get my hat in the car, put that on. You got to wear a different hat fooling with them white people. If you don't, you're going to just wind up at the bottom of the totem pole. But I done been through all that. And then when I was working, you got to be nice to people. I worked around a whole bunch of white doctors. There was about 6 or 7 black guys working in Sanger Hall. That's right across from the Children's Hospital there. They just built that new hospital. And when I left, I don't think it was but 2 working in there, 2 black people.
So tell me about your job. What was your job and how did you get that job?
Well, what happened, my brother was working at MCV. I don't know how he got that job, but I guess he was just searching around. And he got a job working in the pathology department. And it was during that time, they was doing low-key press stuff, like printing stuff out on a press, and they would type it on a piece of paper and they'd give it to him and he'd print it out. And then he knew the boss named Dr. Margolis. He was the head of the department. And he told him one day, he said, my brother need a job. He said, all right, tell him to come on over here. I give him a job. So I went on over there and he said, you want a job? I said, yes, sir. All right, come on, go with me. He carried my ass down there to the mall. I said, damn, I ain't never seen no mall. A post-mortem examination, what the hell is that? You never heard of that before. Come to the country. So I said, all right. He said, you come on to work tomorrow. Then I was living down there, past south. I had to catch a bus, go to Petersburg, catch the bus from Petersburg. Used to be a Trailway bus station right there on Broad Street, not too far from MCV. Get off the bus there and go work in the morgue, you know, doing the autopsies, and that was some shit. But I eventually got used to it. Then when I went back catching the bus, getting off the bus and had to walk a mile to the house, boy, I was walking down the road and I was scared as a bitch. I mean, cutting people up and taking their damn eyeballs out and their kidneys and all that shit. I was scared. I was so scared I would walk and then I'd stop, see if I hear anything. Then I'd walk on the grass. Then I'd stop. Then I'd walk in the road. Then I'd stop. I was a bitch. I had it rough. Then I moved up. Mr. Keith, he would go get the mail for the department and sharpen the knives, because they used to do in the histology lab. And after he died, Mongolis, he said, you want to work up here? Yes, sir. So I moved up there, started sharpening and going, getting the mail, running little errands and shit. And after that, the lady that ran it, she said, you can be a histology technician. I said, all right. So I started to cutting sections in the histology lab. And then one day I was walking down the hall and this lady stopped me. She said, Raymond, you want to come work for me? I said, yeah. Shit. She said, all right, come on around there tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. I think she kind of halfway liked me, but that was besides the point. I was trying to get my ducks in a row. And then the lady was head of the histology lab. She said, what you doing around here? I said, you need to ask her. And they went outside and talked and shit. And then I started working in the EM lab, cutting tissue with people that had all kinds of diseases and shit. But it was easy work. And after I did that, I forget who was in charge now. But Dr. Steele came from England. He was originally from Scotland. He took the histology lab over. The EM lab over. And for some reason or other, he just liked me. Because I always, when I went to work, I said, good morning, Dr. Steele. Or, good morning, Dr. K. How you doing? Fine, sir. You had a good day? Yes, sir. Because, see, I know how that shit worked. And then he got to the point that he said, you like to paint? I said, I don't like to paint, but I can paint. He said, well, come on up to my house tomorrow. I said, where you live at? And he told me one of the streets up there in the West End. So then he said, well, I tell you what we gonna do. He said, you ain't gonna lose no pay, no vacation, plus I'm gonna pay you for painting my house. You know, part of it, the windows. I said, all right, that's fine. Shit, I used to go up there, his wife used to fix breakfast, and she had all kinds of wine and shit. I'd be painting kind of halfway high, and he'd be going to work. And I did that for, I don't know, maybe 3, 4 years. And we went on trips. He'd carry me on trips, jump on that damn airplane, drink that hooch and shit, and be fine and happy. He'd be halfway drunk, and I would be too. But then that went on for maybe 15, 20 years. And after that, I think he must have died. I don't know, can't think back whether he died or not. But anyway, another Dr. Hatfield, and I started working for him. And the reason he came to get me is because he used to like to go on trips on the airplane. So what he would do, he said, Raymond, I said, yes, sir. He said, come on, drive me out to the airport. Put $5, because gas was cheap then. Put $5 worth of gas in the car, put the key over the sun visor, and take it back to MCV and park it down, you know, in the parking lot. I said, okay. And he had his 2 kids in there, a girl and a boy. So I did that for 2 or 3 years. And his son now, I went to him once, named Mark. He's a doctor too. And I said, yeah. He said, I remember you. He was a little boy then. And then after that, Hatfield, that's when the Hatfield McCoys was up there fighting up there in the country, shooting, killing each other. He wanted them because he rich. And after that, was a girl in Jane Payne. She lived in Hopewell. So the lady, I knew Ethel, and she said, we're going to get rid of Jane Payne, and I'm going to give you that job. I said, all right, that'll work. And then I worked in there up until I retired. It was her and this white guy named Berger, and I worked in there till I retired. And that's how I got up on the ladder, because them other labs weren't paying nothing. But the EM lab, I was registered, but I'm not now, because you pay so much a year to be registered, and I could go anywhere in the United States and get a job, California, Mexico, anywhere you wanted to go. But I didn't really want to move and go, because it's kind of hard getting started, you know, in a different state, different city. And I stayed in there until I retired. But they had a pamphlet that came out, and how much money the people who was working in the EM lab in California and New York, and the going rate of what people were making. See, and that's how I started making money, because they brought Virginia up to the standards that the people were making in California. And they bitched and bitched and bitched, but you're doing the same work, so why not get the same pay? So then I stayed in there, and they had 2 scopes, and they had 4 people working in there. Shit, then Ethel retired. Tom, they got rid of him, and I was running all that shit by myself. I said, shit, I'm leaving here, I'm gonna retire. I done put my time in. So I wanted more money, and Dr. Wakely, he said, they'll just keep you here because they ain't gonna pay you no more money. And I said, okay, thank you, I appreciate that, Dr. Wakely. Because Doug Wilder, during that time, they had a window you could come by. And if you didn't come out by that window, you couldn't get the incentive that they were paying you to come out during that time, because it's kind of cut back on the state employee. So the girl over in, I forget her name, over in Human Resources, she said, you better go now. So I said, how I'm going to do this? She said, I'm going to fix you up. She said, well, you can make more money at home. You don't have to buy no clothes, no food, no gas. So I left in here and worked. And then go down where I was staying with Mama, and go to sleep. Get up the next day, do the same thing.
Working 7 days a week for
about 5 years.
So that industrious is true.
To build this house.
Every day.
You said my grandma left him with a nickel.
Saturday and Sunday, every day. Had sheetrock dust on my nose, everything.
And you said you got the plans from the library?
Now, I ordered them.
Oh, you ordered them.
During that time, my brother got his I think he must got his from the library. And I ordered my plans, but I changed some things in there.
When you look back over your life, what would you say your legacy is to your family?
Well, I cut out my social life and running behind females, because you wind up broke. And then when the end go down, you ain't gonna have nothing, because to be the boss, you got to pay like the boss. And what you need to do is save your money, and if somebody give you something, you ought to take it in stride and remember where it come from and how to use it. See, but if you don't, you're gonna wind up behind the 8 ball. Cause I don't know what legacy will I leave. I don't know. I can't say. Cause the best I can do is I tried to help her the best I can. Now whether that'll work or not, I don't know. You don't have the foggiest idea. Cause I changed all my bank accounts and things over her in the house. So I'm just a squatter now. I'm just here. And if she can't make it with that, she just shit out of luck. I tell you the God honest truth. If somebody leave you a damn house and a bunch of money and you ain't got sense enough to take care of it, you don't need nothing. You don't need a damn thing.
Well, can I share something with you?
Yeah.
That I have been tremendously blessed by your daughter and your granddaughter, and because they bless my children. So the industriousness and the hard-working nature, I think that you have passed that on to them. And because of that, they have been able to sow into my children. And not just my children, but so many other children. I got a little boy who likes to move and do all of that, but he's powerful. And he's strong. And they don't like that. And so I had to pull him out. And so the first time my son met your daughter, he said, I have somebody who cares about me, who looks like me, and who cares about me. And so I know that she's been able to touch my child. You may not know, but I think that is a credit to what you have sowed into her. And so I thank you, because I had a dad. My daddy raised me, worked 2 jobs to put me through school. And I know I made a lot of mistakes and, all of that. But what he poured into me through his sacrifice and having to deal with white folks and a system that want to beat him down, I'm grateful for that sacrifice. I really am. So I'm grateful for your sacrifice and what you've done. Because of what you've done, they've been able to touch my life through my children. So it's not all for nothing. And I know we as children, we make our mistakes. And sometimes we don't do the things that our parents want them to do. But just know that your sacrifice, all of the things that you've gone through, it's worth something. And I'm grateful to you. I'm grateful. So I just wanted to say that.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say that.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, people don't know I guess the trials and tribulations that I had to come through. They just think, oh, Ray Freeman, blah, 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 blah. He got this and shit, you don't know I had to go out there and barefooted, walk through sand all day long behind a fucking mule and a plow. One furrow. They had 2. There's 1 furrow on 10 acres of land.
Just a man and his dog. And it's like, excuse me, I'm in here too.